Hey everybody, this week we're going to be converting units, and so we're actually going to be converting length, weight, capacity, and time. So we have it looks like a lot, right? And this homework looks a little bit different than normal, but that's okay. I'm going to explain kind of everything that's going on here. But in the first column, you will be converting length, right? And there's two different kinds of lengths because we have the metric system and the customary system. And we'll talk all about those during class and all of that. And so then you have converting weight, converting capacity, and converting time. And so very quickly, we're going to look at each column, and we're going to see that we have the different conversions here for you to look at and use as you're solving these problems. And so we will go over all of the rest of them during class, and so you'll have an idea of how these are related and how they should go. And so if we look here, we have like 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters, right? And then 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, and 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. And we'll use those, more than those, but those should help you on these that are in this column, the 5 that are in that column under that group of conversions there. And then in the next column, we have 1 foot equals 12 inches, and then 1 yard equals 3 feet, and then 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. And so you guys can use those conversions to kind of help you out with the 5 that are under that column. And then converting weight, we're dealing with kilograms and grams, and then pounds and ounces. So 1 kilogram would equal 1,000 grams, and then 1 pound would equal 16 ounces, right? And so you'll use those to help you out on those 5 in that column. And then converting capacity, we have 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, 1 quart equals 2 pints, 1 pint equals 2 cups, and then 1 cup equals 8 ounces. And you guys will use those to answer those 5 that are in that column. 1 minute equals 60 seconds, 1 hour equals 60 minutes, 1 day would be 24 hours, and then 1 week would be 7 days. And so you can use those 4 conversions to help you out with answering those 5 questions in that column. And then we have 1 month is equal to 28 to 31 days, and then 1 year is 365 days. 1 decade would be 10 years, and then 1 century would be 100 years. And I know these are a little bit more difficult to deal with sometimes, but since we have the conversions, you should be able to answer those 3 that are in that column. So we really shouldn't have too many problems here, but I'm going to show you a really cool way to answer some of these problems, right? And we're going to use this sheet right here as an example. And I'll have 3 sheets here actually for you, okay? And you are not solving all 3 of these, okay? You're only doing this homework page, okay? But I'm going to use this to help explain how we can use this method to help us find these conversions. And this method is called the tic-tac-toe method. Okay, so I think everybody may know what tic-tac-toe is, right? And so really all you do first to start off is draw your tic-tac-toe board, right? And you would normally play with your friends, but this time we're going to use that to solve this math problem with conversions. And so if we look, it says that if we look at number 1 right here, okay, we're looking at this one first. It says 3 minutes equals how many seconds, okay? So that's what we're trying to find. 3 minutes equals a certain amount of seconds, okay? And so here's how we fill this out. Are you ready? First, we would put our unit on this side, top left, minutes, right? And we're going to seconds. Okay, so we would write minutes and then seconds. And in this middle top, we would write the word rule, okay, so that we know exactly what we need to do. Okay, the next row, so we go kind of one row at a time, right? The next row would be that we know that 1 minute is how many seconds? 60, right? We know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So if we go left to right, we have 1 minute and then we have 60 seconds. So are we multiplying or are we dividing? Well, we would be multiplying, right? By what? 60, right? And so we keep that rule the same here, right? And so if we have 3 minutes, right, from our original problem, we have 3 minutes times 60. How many seconds would that be? 180, right? Because 3 times 6 is 18, and you have that 0 you can plug to the end, right? And so that's the tic-tac-toe method, all right? We would write up in the top. I can use blue to kind of talk through it with you. On the top row, we write our units, and then we make sure that we write the word rule so that we know we keep that the same all the way through, right? And then we write our conversion on the second row, right? The conversion is on the second row. So we have 1 minute is the same as 60 seconds, right? And so to go from 1 minute to 60 seconds, we have to multiply 1 by 60, right? And so then we have our problem here at the bottom, right? We have 3 minutes and we need to get to a certain amount of seconds, but the rule stays the same. So we know that we can just multiply 3 by 60 and we can get 180 seconds. So that's how we find our final answer. Okay, let's do another one. Let's use units of length instead of time. Okay, so let's look at number 1 on this one. It says 6 centimeters equals a certain amount of millimeters. So we can go ahead and draw out our tic-tac-toe board, right? Draw it out just like that, and then we go ahead and begin. So what's our unit for the top left? We're going centimeters to millimeters, right? And then we write the word rule so that we remember that the rule is going to stay the same no matter what, right? And so now, the second row, let's go ahead and find our conversion. Well, it's written right here. 1 centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters, right? So that rule is really, are we multiplying to go from 1 to 10, or are we dividing? We're multiplying, right? So you would do 1 times what? Times 10 to get to 10 millimeters, correct? Okay, so now let's go ahead and plug in what we have in our problem. We have 6 centimeters, right? And we're going to multiply that by the same rule, by 10, to get what? What is 6 times 10? 60. So 6 centimeters is the same as 60 millimeters. Okay, and you can pause the video and write all of that down and practice with a couple of these that I have here if you want to, but you're really going to use this on your homework, right? So if you need to pause it or anything, you can definitely go back and do that. I'm going to work one more with you, and then that will be all. But let's go ahead and look at number 1 on this measurement of weight. Okay, so we're going to convert weight here. We have 3 kilograms is equal to a certain amount of grams, right? So let's set up our tic-tac-toe board. Okay, top left, we have our unit of kilograms, and then top right, we have our unit that we're going to be working toward, right? And then the middle, we have rule, okay? And then, so let's go ahead and find our conversion. Well, if we look up here, it says that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, right? So 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. So are we multiplying or are we dividing? Again, we're multiplying, right? 1 times something gives me 1,000. So we're multiplying by 1,000. That's my rule, right? And so then I can go back and plug in my original problem, which is 3 kilograms, and we can multiply that by 1,000, right? And that gives us how many grams? 3,000, right? So 3 kilograms is the same as 3,000 grams. Now imagine that it was reversed. Like, what if we're going from grams to kilograms, right? What if we look at this one right here, okay? If we look at number 5, okay? If we look at number 5, it says 6,500 grams is equal to how many kilograms? Okay, so draw out our board. Okay, I know I made that kind of small, so if you mess up, it's totally fine. You just fix it. Okay, and then so let's go ahead and start with our unit in the top left, unit in the top right. Write the word rule so that we don't forget what our rule is, right? And then we know again that 1 gram, right? If 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams, then we know that that 1,000 grams has to be equal to 1 kilogram, right? And so we are dividing now, correct? So if we divide, okay, we're dividing by what? 1,000 divided by something equals 1. What is it? 1,000 divided by itself would equal 1, right? So this time we're dividing by 1,000. So we have grams here. How many grams do we have total? 6,500 or 6,500. We're dividing that by 1,000 to get our number of kilograms. And again, guys, watch this. If we have 6,500 and we are dividing it by 1,000, okay, I can divide it by 10, divide it by 100, divide it by 1,000, and I'm left with 6 5/10, which is really like 6.5 kilograms, right? 6 5/10 kilograms. So those are the different ways to, or not really different ways, but the same way, a couple of different examples for you that you can use to solve the problems that are on your homework. So if you want to use the back of your homework, that would be awesome to do your tic-tac-toe method. If you want to use any spare space up at the top or anything at the bottom or whatever, you can try to do that. It would be good for all of your work to be on your homework page. That way we can check all of your work and all of those kind of things. So good luck, guys. And for the dojo point this week, we have Baby Groot. So if you just write Baby Groot on your paper and with your name on it and all of those things and give it to your teacher, then we will give you a dojo point for watching the video.